Long ago, when the world was bright and full of stories, an evil wizard gained the power to touch the face of God. Narrativa, goddess of stories and weaver of our world, banished him to the void, but not before he stole a piece of her divine essence. With this newfound power, the wizard lay a dread curse upon all the world, the Glyph Purge, which struck from the minds of all mortals the knowledge of how to read and write. Now, all that stand between the Isle of Meotia and an age of endless ignorance are the bards, who tell stories of distant lands, exotic creatures, and brave heroes. This is one such tale.
Hello and welcome to Challenge Rating Zero, the latest and greatest Dungeons & Dragons podcast to hit the internet airwaves. I am Sam, your Dungeon Master, and I am joined as always by my longtime friends and adventuring companions.
Hello, I'm Brian, and I play Hector the Gatekeeper.
Hi, I'm Beth, and I play Rillo Longshadow.
Hey there, I'm Alex, and I play Ruger Firehide.
And last but not least, we have the man who calls himself Michael, but who we call Parker, Michael Parker playing the druid Zurabak. Say hi, Parker.
Hi, Parker.
Fantastic. We are joined once again, dear listeners, for a tale of epic fantasy. We left on a cliffhanger last time. Let's just get right fucking into it. When last we left our heroes, Hector, Rilla, Zurabak, and the lawman Ruger Firehide, were following up on a lead brought to them by Olga Hilltopple, one of the Hilltopple sisters working in the prison. In the depths of Grotmire, they got word that a runner, namely Colt, the head of the runners, was visiting prisoners in Grotmire and bribing the guards to keep it a secret. Our hero's investigation found out that these two prisoners being visited were spies working for the Lord Deceiver, caught long ago by the security forces of the city of Everspring. And they and Colt had worked out a plan at the Lord Deceiver's behest to, quote, bring upon the fall of Everspring. During the interrogation, the Lord Deceiver them very selves appeared within the bodies of one of these prisoners to taunt our heroes, and our heroes swiftly trapped them, had them devoured, found Colt, lured them into a meeting of the conspiracy, and using enchantment magics, drew the truth from this nefarious centaur who has plotted the downfall of the city of 1,000 colors, Everspring. It would seem that Colt is still a little miffed at the elven people due to the, maiming he received at their hands, and has fallen into pretty hardcore racism, and he has decided to strike against the elves by planning a false flag attack and blaming the new elven diaspora residing within Everspring for the assault. After this revelation, our heroes quickly clamped Colt in irons within the Diviner's Tower in front of all the other members of the conspiracy, and just as they had him firmly in custody, a loud rumbling went off in the distance, and that is where we join our heroes now. So, you are all within the Diviner's Tower, surrounded by the other members of the conspiracy, the Diviner themselves, Lore Master Holland, the Lore Master of the Arcane, Pockets, the head of the Turnkeys, Kurz, Colt, who is currently clamped in irons, and loud rumbling has just gone off in the distance. Colt lowers his head and says, "It's already begun."
I spit on the ground and I look at the diviner and say, "You got eyes on whatever the hell that was?"
"My dear Firehide, I have eyes on everything," she says grandly as she outstretches her arms and hovers up into the middle of the hall full
As soon as she says that, Zurabak just knocks a whole table over.
A buzz of blue magical eyeballs flurry around you as you do this, but all of the mirrors lining the interior of this large cylindrical room, like the inside of a grain silo, flash as these blue arcane eyes buzz around them, and suddenly you see pictures of the city of Everspring flashing up on all these mirrors from a dizzying array of perspectives, different heights, and you see chaos in the higher end, richer part of the city. there seems to be a large fire raging, plumes of smoke rising up to be torn to shreds by the mountain air as red-orange flames lick towards the heavens, and it looks like a very large building, and the structures on either side of it are completely ablaze. And there are civilians running in the streets around it, most of them wearing finery. As these mirrors flit to different angles and different perspectives, you come in low and see that through the smoke and flame, this building looks familiar. This is the studio of one Charissa Lamstrand, completely engulfed in fire. Mirrors show people fleeing the scene. It shows soldiers of the Order of the Quill and the Dwarven City Guard rushing toward the blaze with buckets of water, attempting to put it out. And in one mirror, you see what looks like two humanoid figures with wooden masks fleeing across rooftops across the street from this fire. The diviner says, "By the gods, this is terrible. We must act quickly. We'll have to send you all out to try to battle this blaze, and if those two forms fleeing from the scene are actually elves, this will not look good for your people, Rilla."
I just take an entire kettle of hot tea and pour it on Colt's head.
Holy
this point.
fuck.
'Cause fuck him, right?
Do I
He yelps in pain from the hot boiling water you pour on him, and Kurz is like, "Hey, maybe chill out a little bit on that shit. That's kind of fucked up."
You know, there was. I get in his face. I'm like, there was one asshole elf, okay, and he fucked me up too. And I show him my arms and shit. I'm like, and you decided to destroy all of my people because there was a single asshole. So I guess I have to kill every centaur I meet for the rest of my very, very long life.
Agreed.
Right, bud? Right? That's how this works?
It wasn't one.
And then I smash the kettle in his face and walk off. Because I'm mad.
It wasn't
real
one
mad.
asshole elf that cut me apart, little girl.
It
as
was.
you-
It was. Because they were terrified of him and doing whatever he wanted. It was one elf. And yeah, I just leave.
Sweet, you storm out of the tower. What are the rest of y'all doing?
I lay a quick hand on Colt. And
Sure.
And then
I just the figures running on the rooftops, can we tell kind of the general direction, like what rooftops they're running on and what general direction they're going?
Oh, absolutely. They are running on rooftops across the street from the now ablaze studio of Charissa Lamstrand, fashion designer to the stars, and they seem to be making a beeline toward the market. They're heading directly south across the rooftops.
I run.
Yeah, I do as well, and I yell back over my shoulder to Kurz as I do, and say, "Make sure the elves are protected. Put Bonnie and hers on it."
I'll do what I can. Excellent. So Hector and Ruger, you all run out of the tower as well after giving these instructions. Zurabak, you're in the tower still. Do you run out of it, or what do you do?
I was thinking if centaurs taste like horse or people.
Both. It's definitely
Yeah,
both.
I'm sure it depends how much side you eat.
Yeah, but if you get like a nice medley of it all, could you tell?
Well, as these delectable thoughts course through your head, we're going to cut to the exterior of the tower as Rilla comes bursting out the front doors, followed a beat or two later by Hector and Ruger. Where's everyone going? Rilla, we'll start with you. You stormed out first. Where are you headed?
I turn into a dragon and I fly to find those stupid elves. That's what I'm doing.
Fuck yeah.
So they run out of
Hector
the
and
tower
Ruger.
as I'm transforming and flying off.
Yeah, for sure.
I I fucking, while running down the street, summon my spectral ghost horse. And like mid summon, as I'm jumping on its saddle, I like extend an arm to Hector's one remaining to help him up if he would like a ride on my ghost steed.
Fuck yes. Hell fucking yes. That's why I love this game. I don't want to take us out of the scene, but fuck yeah. You guys just ran out of a wizard's tower, well, a sorcerer's tower, and Rilla turned into a giant flying lizard as you summon a ghost horse and swing up into its saddle as you take off toward the action. That's incredible. Fuck yeah. Hector and Ruger.
I swing up onto the horse with him. I am taking I'm like crouched down on the back of the horse. Like I'm ready to fucking leap off the horse at a moment's notice as necessary.
For sure.
I've spent, I don't know how many sessions over this last stretch training specifically to be riding horses through this fucking city. So I just go full tilt, like no holds bar.
Yeah, I believe you bought special horseshoes for Cole. Is that correct?
I sure did. Yeah, the horseshoes of speed.
So what is your horse's movement speed right now?
90 feet is
like
what I have.
90 or some
yeah,
shit?
90 feet is what I have.
90.
written
God
down.
damn. All right. So, Rilla takes the form of a dragon, her leathery wings flapping furiously to carry her aloft over the buildings. Really, you can see across the skyline of Ever Spring, over the shops, the homes, the bars, the warehouses, that, in the upper scale part of town, you can see this column of smoke rising up from the quickly crumbling structure that was Charissa Lamstrand's studio as people start to rush around it, and some of the city guard try to put the fire out, and Ruger and Hector, as you weave through the streets, you are also seeing columns of soldiers and guardsmen with buckets running towards the blaze. Ruger, just for fun, why don't you go ahead and roll me a ride check?
I would love to. Okay. So 17 plus 15 for a whopping 32.
Holy shit. Yeah, you are fucking flying through the city streets. Cole's hooves barely seem to touch the cobbles as you surge forward with unearthly swiftness, weaving expertly through all of the teeming hordes of people making their way through the streets. Closing in on these running elves. Zurabak, in the Diviner's Tower, what you got?
I turn to Snake. I say, I wonder what Lore Master they were gonna kill. I hope it's that one. And I point at the one behind us. He says this very loudly.
For sure. You point at Lore Master Holland, and their wide but deep sunken eyes gaze at you out of their aged face, and they say, "That is certainly something to consider. I wonder, Colt, if you would be so kind as to tell us who your target was. Surely you wouldn't be so foolish as to kill me in front of all of our conspirators." And Colt looks around and says, "I ain't got nothing more to say to any one of you. What I'm doing is right. Those elves can't be trusted."
Oh, you've doomed your people, you know that, right? I'm gonna enjoy these times coming. You have a good one, horseman. And Zurabak leaves.
Where is Zurabak at?
I'm so terrified.
Well, Zurabak's gonna head to the college. He's got to make sure his Harold's still alive somewhere. And he's just gonna kill every centaur he sees.
Okay, excellent.
Oh.
Oh no. Oh no. It's finally happened. Level 15. Zurabak finally goes true evil.
Okay. Well, Zurabak, weirdly enough, and I'm really glad you phrased it that way, you don't see any centaurs on your way to the college.
I wonder why.
As it turns out, you don't. Yeah, you don't see a single one, and it's weird because they're messengers in a big city. You'd normally see them all over the place. You don't see any as you make your way to the college, and your herald is there, alive and well, and very confused. We'll check in on you two in just a moment. We're going to switch back to Rilla, Ruger, and Hector. Rilla, as you are winging over the rooftops of this fair city, as this blaze roars in the background below you, Ruger and Hector are keeping pace, charging through the streets.
I cast locate object.
Okay.
I'm locate objecting the masks I saw them wearing.
Excellent. Yeah, you
My range is
three
720 feet.
That's significant. Yeah, as you three surge through the city towards the market where these masked individuals were heading, you start to scan around, and yeah, Hector, you weave your bardic magic to pinpoint the location of one of these wooden masks that you spotted in the diviner's mirror. Your connection to narrativa and the very fabric of reality, pinpointing these specific items, and you get a ping as you spread out your consciousness to locate these specific items on the roof of a cluster of stalls. There is a ping. It is about 30 feet up on top of this cluster of canvas-covered merchant stalls just across a courtyard from you. You get a ping that these masks are there. What do you do?
I direct Ruger and I cast message to also let Rilla know that.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, you whisper under your breath as you point your finger at Rilla Longshadow in dragon form, and Rilla, you get this information like a whisper in your ear, pointing you to this cluster of stalls with this cloth canopy over it. Do you gaze in that direction, Rilla Longshadow?
Yes.
As you cast your draconic eyes down at this cluster of stalls, you see, from your aerial perspective, two humanoids wearing what could easily be elven clothing. It seems like woodman's garb of brown and green leather breeches and tunics with wooden masks on, hunkering in the middle of this giant canvas rooftop over this cluster of stalls. And just as you spot them, they spot you, the dragon, flying over the market, and they start fucking hauling ass. They scramble up, jump off of this canvas roof, spot Ruger and Hector flying towards them on a black horse, and they bolt in opposite directions, tearing through the market, throwing shelves and shit behind them in their path as they try desperately to evade you. One of them veers to the west and one of them to the east. What do you guys do?
We'll take west, you take east,
Okay.
and then we do that.
Fantastic.
And okay,
Yeah.
I just want to, for real though, my horse moves 90 feet and I have the run feat, which is 5 times movement. So are you telling me this horse can cover
Yes.
450 feet in 6 seconds?
Yes. It's a very fast horse.
Okay, I chase this guy in the market.
Frankly, the only reason we're only keeping pace with Rilla is that you have to run around buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex, believe me, I'm also overjoyed that you're finally coming to terms with the utility of your mount. Yeah, you have a rocket horse. Congratulations.
So I chased that guy with it.
So, absolutely, yeah. So as Hector and Ruger veer off on the back of Colt after on the back of Cole after one of these masked individuals, Rilla veers off after the other one. Checking back in with Zurabak. Zurabak, you are out front of the college. You found your herald, Cedric, who is overjoyed to see you. Hey, boss, what's going on? There's like a explosion or something. Is that a fire?
Yeah.
Do they have fires here?
Yeah, because they're weak and pathetic. Hey, quick question. Any lore masters you like?
Lore masters I like? Well, let's see. Yeah, I like lore master Kel, the lore master of music. She's pretty cool. Why?
All right, where's that one? We're gonna make sure that one doesn't die.
Doesn't die? What?
Yeah, probably.
She's probably in her studio, rehearsing. I mean, we could. Yeah, let's go now. I don't want her to die. And he spins on.
Yeah, all right. I have no idea where I'm going.
Don't worry, boss. I got your back. I've been auditing some courses here in my free time. And he turns on a dime and rushes through the enormous doors into the sprawling structure that is the College of Ever Spring. You weave through some of the halls where bewildered students whisper behind their hands about you as you pass by them in your terrifying regalia with your enormous snake that is honestly pushing people out of the hallway as you make your way through. And after making a few turns, climbing a couple staircases, you find yourself in the back of the sprawling building, the part that overlooks Lake Danum, and there is a small wooden door that your herald knocks on, and there's no response.
There's no knocking. As soon as Zurabak gets there, he just kicks it.
Fantastic. Yeah, you get to the small door, and Cedric raises his hand to knock, and you kick it in. Roll me a strength check, Zurabak.
Oh, I suppose I should pull up the dice roller. 24.
Excellent. Yeah, you kick the door, and it does, of course, shatter inward into a bunch of splinters. What surprises you is that the door did not have as much give as you thought. When you kick it down, you realize this door is like surprisingly thick, and it's padded with like what looks like layers and layers of cloth that seem to have worked as some sort of sound dampener, because as soon as you kick the door in, the screams of battle immediately fill your ears. You are in a chamber full to the brim with musical instruments. There's woodwinds and brass. There's lutes, lyres, horns, just all sorts of instruments lining the walls of this room. There's sort of stadium seating and kind of a circle around a main pit. And in the middle of that pit, there is a halfling woman wearing the silver robes of a lore master who is desperately engaged in a bloody fight with a figure in a black hood, black robe with the hood pulled up, who is wielding a knife that seems like it's trailing black fire.
I look at my squire, my herald. That one? And he points at...
Yeah, that's the one, boss. If you could save her, that'd be great.
All right. Hey! I'm gonna eat you.
The figure in the black cloak spins, turning away from Lore Master Kel, the Lore Master of Music, and they gaze at you. Their face is covered with black cloth wrapped around their mouth and forehead. Only their eyes poke out, and their eyes are radiating a black energy that seems to pulse when they blink their eyes. And we are going to cut to everyone else. So
That's me.
Rilla, Ruger, and Hector. Y'all are chasing some goons, some motherfuckers in wooden masks who were fleeing the scene. of the giant fire are trying to weave their way through the markets, evading you. You, Rilla, and Ruger's horse are both very, very fast, so they can't hope to outrun you. And you notice that pretty soon they are bobbing and weaving, diving for cover, trying to find places to hide. Ruger, I'm going to need you to roll me a ride check. And Hector, your spell's still going, right? What's the duration on that? Like a long time?
Locate object is 8 minutes for me.
Okay, yeah, you're great. So you still have that pinging, so yeah. Ruger, what'd you get on your ride check?
23.
Hell yeah.
I actually did not roll very well. I rolled an 8.
Ruger, you guide Cole through this densely packed market square like you were born in the saddle. You leap entirely through cloth-covered market stalls. You weave around giant piles of fruit and textiles. You take a crazy banking turn around a cart full of newly sharpened cutlery, just barely avoiding disaster as you're chasing down this humanoid figure in this wooden mask. They keep ducking and diving behind cover, throwing down a bunch of barrels or darting behind a building. But thankfully, Hector's bardic magics mean that they are never hidden from you. As he's able to trace that mask. What's up?
So I'm gaining on the guy. He can't hide from me, right? So
Yes.
I try to utilize Cole to drive him kind of back out into like the street, back into like a little bit more of an open area.
Okay.
And then I pull the horse in position for Hector, who I can feel coiled at my back, so that Hector can jump on him.
Okay, so you want to pull a fastball special.
Well-
you want to Tokyo drift
I mean,
and then have Hector flung out of the saddle towards the bad guy.
pretty much.
This is what I want.
Yeah. Hector said earlier that he was
Absolutely, that's what
ready to
happens.
jump at a moment's notice. Well, he now has a moment's notice. So
Yeah, you come barreling out of this market square, chasing your prey, who is surprisingly agile, down an alley, out into a main street as you're dogging him. And yeah, as you come out into the alley, you bank hard. Your trusty, incredibly supernatural steed whipping sideways. And yeah, why don't, Hector, you roll me a jump check real quick, and we'll see how good you tackle this mook.
All right, let's see. 21.
That's pretty good. Hector, you fling yourself out of the saddle like a coiled spring. You launch yourself through the air.
I want to be very clear. I activate my rage midair.
Absolutely. You fly at this motherfucker. You are a screaming meat missile. You are a block of muscle mass howling in the night as you arc through the air and crash heavily into this fleeing goon in the wooden mask. You slam into their back, immediately pinning them to the cobblestones beneath you here in the street. And as you collide with them, their wooden mask comes flying off their face. And oddly enough, so do their ears. There's no scream of pain or anything. And as it turns out that this ears weren't real. They seem to be some sort of prosthetic pointy elf ears that were strapped to their head, and you see a pained and terrified human being pinned underneath you in the middle of the street. Rilla Longshadow, you are dogging one of these goons, flitting through the marketplace as you fly overhead in the form of a dragon. I need you to roll me a spot check to keep this guy in sight as they are constantly bobbing and weaving and trying to find cover in this market.
I got a 9.
Okay. You wing over particularly dense cluster of wagons that seem like they're getting their axles repaired. And as you wing over it, you lose sight of this goon for a second. They were running dead sprint, and now you turned your gaze away for just 1 second, and they are gone. You have no sight of them. What would you like to do?
Oh, fuck me. My instinct is just to glitter dust the crowd, but like, yeah, fuck it, I do that.
It's worked in the
It
past.
has.
It's worked in this exact scenario in the past. We call this maneuver B. So basically, the elf's going to turn to a dragon. They're going to fly over, carpet bomb them with glitter dust. They're not going to know what the fuck it is.
It's true. They won't.
Yeah, so I glitter dust. What is the range on that? How much of an area can I glitter dust? It's like a 10-foot radius spread. So yeah, like as soon as I lose sight of him, I just like throw a glitter dust at the last spot I saw him.
Excellent. You throw out your glitter dust spell, which explodes in a burst of, I believe it was pink glitter. Is that what we...
Yes. It also technically blinds everyone and hits. So there's that.
Absolutely. You throw out this glitter dust spell, blasting at the last place. You saw this goon. It explodes, showering the area with this with these pink sparkles, which spray out in every direction. You spatter this stand of wagons in need of repair, which now gleam. And you do tag, unfortunately, a shopkeeper who is sweeping up out in front of their stall. They scream, clawing at their eyes, and they fling their broom down on the ground, which knocks over some barrels, which reveals the goon, who immediately starts breaking away from that spot. They are back in view.
Are they glittery?
Running full tilt away from you. What do you want to do to neutralize
are they
this?
glittery? Do they sparkle?
No, they were outside of the spell.
What I would like to do is like grab them in flight. Can I do that? Like just like grab their clothes and like yank them out of the crowd? Like
You're going to have to succeed on a grapple check to grapple somebody and bring them into the sky.
I want to try. It'd be cool if it works.
You
Hell yeah.
tuck your leathery wings and dive towards this goon running away from you with this wooden mask on. You extend your draconic claws. Roll me a touch attack to grab this motherfucker.
Go to what my attack is in dragon form. A 29.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Your claws do make purchase on this goon. Now we're going to roll opposed grapple checks.
All right.
So roll me a grapple check to see if you can grab this dude.
Wait, my grapple is better because I get the strength of the dragon. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so my...
Exactly right.
Ooh, does an 18 get it?
Let's see. I'm rolling a grapple check for this goon. Well, this motherfucker rolled a 7, so yes.
Yay!
You swoop down, tucking your wings to your side. You dive like a peregrine falcon over your prey. You extend your draconic claws, grab up this goon, and snapping your wings out to either side, whisk them up into the air. The force of this motion, ripping them off of their feet, off the cobbles, and into the sky, pulls the mask from their face. It's on this cord, and it dangles around their neck, as well as the fake ears that they were wearing over their regular ears. And you are holding in your draconic claws a terrified human being, dangling them over the market. We're going to cut to Zurabak. Zurabak, King of the Shock Lizards, Champion of the Goats, Emperor of the Rats, Duke of the Alanijo, Zurabak the Unburned. You are in the music hall of the College of Everspring. You're facing down some asshole in a black cloak who's trying to assassinate one of the lore masters.
Oh no.
Let's roll initiative.
Boop and boop. Zurabak got a 14. Snake got a 16.
Okie dokie. So it looks like the goon goes first, then Snake, then you. This goon is going to stare up at you from where they're standing at the bottom of this sort of like arena seating down in this bowl next to the lore master. Lore master Kel, the lore master of music, is a small halfling woman who is looks worse for wear. They're holding a short sword in their hand, and they look like they know how to use it. They have a determined cast of their face, but their hair is matted with blood. They have a black eye, and they are breathing heavily, and their offhand is gripping a terrible wound at their side. It looks like they were pretty much on the verge of death. And this cloaked figure looks up at you and says,
I was hoping to evade notice here, but another scalp for my master will prove quite valuable.
and he surges up the stairs towards you and your snake.
Yeah, but I don't know how I'm going to get that scalp to your master.
Excellent. This knife is a little weird. It is curved, but it's curved forward. Looks like it's made for heavy chopping, and the entire length of its blade is crackling with this black fire, which you saw the last time you assaulted the Knights of the Pyre Camp. I'm going to need 1 second to pull up the stats for this fucker.
All I heard was knife fight.
I forgot to do that.
Knife fight.
Zurabak may have a knife.
In the band classroom.
What is this, Rittner?
Yeah, you got to mix it up. Let's see. I don't know why you'd go for a punk ass fucking lore master like the lore master of music, but hey, what are you gonna do? All right, fantastic.
See, Zurabak's been paying attention. If something bad's gonna happen, it's gonna happen to someone's favorite.
Almost like an unseen hand is guiding the events of this adventure. Who could say for sure? All right, so this fool rushes forward with a knife in hand, and they start swinging this curved blade, singing through the air as they attempt to assail you with a flurry of attacks. And let's do this. All right, so the first attack with their blade is a... Let's see. Well, that's going to be like 33.
Oh, such a miss. Complete miss.
The second it's
so badly a miss, it almost doubled it.
The second attack is 17. Does that hit you?
Oh, that's an actual miss.
Okay. And the last one is 21.
That's a hit.
Okay. So you get hit twice with this dagger. And actually, yeah. Okay. So Zurabak, from these two separate slashes, you're going to take a total of 13 points of regular damage. And as this black flame caresses your flesh, you are also going to take 3 points of fire damage. This knife is hot. The black flames seem to be just as hot as normal fire. This guy rushes you and unleashes with a full attack, which by itself should tell you that they're not a low-level enemy, because that's not normally how that works. And it is your turn. No, it's your snake's turn.
No, it's Snake's turn. Snake walls off the other side of him, away from the stupid puny lore master.
Fantastic.
As if to flank, too. Because he's just fuck huge.
Yep, your enormous snake makes a snake wall. Slithering around behind this goon. Was that its full turn?
I don't know, how far was that? How much movement was used?
Yeah, I can still get an attack.
All right.
I can still get an attack in there.
Roll the 12 plus 13, 20 something, 5?
Yep. Does that include your flanking bonus?
No, that does not. 27.
That is a hit.
DC 16 poison save, and it is a D6 damage. 10 points of damage.
Excellent. And they failed the saving throw for that poison.
Oh, boy.
Your snake
What a
slithers
fool.
around behind this dude, blocking his view of the lore master, and sinks its fangs into this dude's back. He screams as the poison's pumped into him.
2 points of con damage.
Excellent. Great. And now it is your turn, Zurabak.
Gonna be a knife fight.
Yes.
You pull out your obsidian dagger, the MacGuffin you picked up so terribly long ago, forged from the lava of your not sister's island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stabbing. That's all we need. Stabbing.
It's a MacGuffin. We haven't done that on any of the MacGuffins.
Well, you also haven't used any of the other MacGuffins as a fucking weapon in a fight, but that's
You're
fine.
right, we should. That's because they haven't been in Zurabak's hands.
Right.
So he came to me, so I get all my attacks, right?
You sure do.
Daggers 19 to 20, and a D4.
Yep.
First hit, 18.
That is enough to hit this motherfucker.
Does he not have enough health that I have to go through all my attacks?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate you asking, though.
The next one is crit on 19 with a 14 to confirm.
That's not going to confirm, but that is another hit.
And then the second one is a 20 crit to confirm on a 21.
That is a critical. So that's 2 hits and a crit. Nicely done. You pull the obsidian blade from wherever from your sack where you keep all of your stuff. Its black facets shine in the torchlight of this music hall, and you go to your grim work slashing at this robed figure, carving into him with this incredibly sharp blade, which finds purchase in the flesh of this would-be assassin, tearing through him. Give me that damage, Zurabak.
The first one is an 8. Second one is an 8. Third one is a 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Excellent. Yeah, you carve into this motherfucker, the incredibly sharp blade of this obsidian dagger slicing through their well-made cloak and armor. Giant wounds open up in their skin, but they are still on their feet, staring you down. We are going to switch back to the market.
I inform him that I'm not even trying.
He's very impressed. We're going to switch back to the market. Hector and Ruger, you are out in the middle of the street. Hector, you've got some goon pinned, and you are screaming in your rage. Rilla, you plucked a guy up off the street. Do y'all want to meet up, or what are we doing? You've got goons in custody.
I'm flying him back to the fire he started.
Oh, God.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you wing your mook back to the pretty sizable fire raging over in the posh part of town, scudding over the rooftops as this
I stay
guy
real
in
high
your
above it. I don't want him to think he could fall and live. I want him to be aware that the only thing keeping him alive is me.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, you soar high up into the mountain air, the wind's tearing at you and flapping this dude's elven-looking clothing, and he screams satisfyingly in absolute bell-shaking terror as you make your way to the blaze. Hector, Ruger, what are y'all doing?
Hector, I'll give you the lead here since you're looming over a dude.
And screaming in his face.
Terrifying.
Um,
Are there any guards nearby?
Oh, for sure.
I kind of ride up now that Hector's got him pinned.
Yeah.
And I slide off of Cole's back and wave for one of the Order of the Quill guys to come over. And
Yeah, one dutifully marches right up to you. Snaps a salute. What do you need, Scrivener?
we got us a prisoner, and I need you to escort him back to Kurz. Give him to Kurz. Kurz only, as a matter of point. And on the double.
As you command, Scrivener.
I make sure to gather the mask and the fake ears.
Nice.
Absolutely. Are you in a screaming rage the whole time?
No, I'll probably
Like
come out of the
scooping shit up off
rage
the street.
once I've got him good and pinned. Was he fighting back?
he was muling. You know, you thump, mostly just muling. You know, like a injured calf. But yeah, you the Knight of the Order of the Quill walks over, clamps the dude in irons, and says, "Of course, Scrivener," and starts marching the dude off to find
Scrivener.
Captain Kurz.
Scrivener? Am I not like Captain Commander? I'm just
Lord Captain Commander. Well, you're also a Scrivener.
I take a
You know.
I take a mental note, not a literal one, because I can't do that. But I take a mental note to fire that guy.
He didn't get the memo.
What's your badge number?
Not going to detect evil, make sure he's not a spy.
I do detect evil. I do that almost reflexively. God damn it.
He's not in your company, so that's why I made the mistake. Anyway.
I do thud Hector on the chest and say, "Mind your temper, Hector. This ain't over." They were talking about killing a lore master.
In my head, I say, Diviner,
Yes, Hector.
I believe we've apprehended both of the arsonists. Have you seen anything else? Is that the extent of what's going on right now? Have you seen anything else?
Besides the fire raging at Lamstrand Studios, I haven't seen anything except... Oh, my word. The music hall at the college. One of the lore masters is being... Well, actually, Zurabak just showed up, so they're probably fine. Let's see. The other lore masters all seem to be secure.
What about the elves?
Let me see. One moment. The elves seem to be fine. I don't see... There doesn't seem to be too much activity over in Lakeside, but there is... Oh my. There seems to be a group of people heading over to their encampment there. That does not look good.
Let's go.
Jump on the horse and any word on Bonnie? Is the regiment close?
Yes, her and your regiment are closing in on the elven encampment now. They should be getting there before anything terrible happens, but it looks like we may have a standoff brewing.
We're on our way.
Excellent. You two take off towards the elven city of Lakeside. Real Long Shadow, you get to the blaze.
Did I hear any of that shit? Because I was just going to threaten to drop this person to make sure that they remembered that they were going to talk. Because I'm holding their life literally in their hands as an intimidation technique. But if the elves are threatened, I am now flying there with this idiot who still has his elf ears attached to dump him in front of this angry crowd. So he can get mauled to death, maybe. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay. So you wing over, leaving the blaze behind, and heading your way back to Lakeside, where the elves reside, including your family. Rilla, Ruger, Hector, you all are making your way to Lakeside. Zurabak, you are in the music hall. The bad guy had a turn, the snake had a turn, and you had a turn. Lore Master, don't tell me.
Kel.
Hold on. Lore Master Kel, the Lore Master of music, is going to say, what's the voice for Kel? They're not going to show up again.
Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle.
Halfling woman.
I sure am glad you came here to save my bacon, Zurabak. I don't think we've met before, but I certainly appreciate it. Here's a little inspiration to help you kill that fucker quicker. And she pulls out a horn from one of the many racks of instruments all over the wall and starts playing the most badass fucking trumpet solo you've ever heard in your entire life. It is peak 1920s bebop jazz, and it really gets your fucking blood pumping. She is an absolute virtuoso, and she uses bardic inspiration, which gives you +4 to your attack and damage rolls.
I just turned back to my Harold. He's like, do that.
Yeah, your Harold, Cedric, seeing this says, "Okay, boss, if that's what you want." And he pulls out his horn of blasting and points it at the dark-robed figure and just lets a rip. And because it's a cone of damage, it gets all three of you, Zurabak, and Snake, and the cloaked figure, all in this cone, which he blasts with the horn of blasting.
What was it, fortitude?
Let's see here. So, let me look up the stats for this thing real quick. I'm so glad it's come to this so quickly. I was hoping, I was thinking we'd get a lot more episodes before I just get to hit you with this horn.
Cedric is going to blow up the college.
Yeah, that's the only answer.
Oh my god. All right, so a 40-foot cone of sonic energy blasts you and your snake and this dark-robed figure and also everything else in that cone. This deafening blast of sound rips into you, rippling your skin, making a brief blast of air. I need you and your snake to make fortitude saving throws.
Is it versus Fey or poison?
You know it isn't.
I can hope. I got a 25 and Snake got a 21.
Hell yeah. All right, so you and Snake are only going to take half damage, which is 10 points of damage each. From this Horn of Blasting, you take 10 points of sonic damage. This dark-robed figure seems to get the worst of it as he's failed the saving throw, and he's going to take 20 points of damage as he's rocked by sonic energy, which definitely rings his fucking bell, and he is also going to be deafened for quite a while as well. So unfortunately, you can no longer hear your taunts. But as this blast goes through the room, it shatters several more fragile objects all around you, scattering instruments, shattering some smaller instruments lining the walls. But yeah, this room is just absolutely full of fucking noise now. And it is back up to the bad guys' turn. They are deafened and definitely wounded by that blast of sonic energy, but they are not done. They, with a quick flourish, pull another blade from underneath their cloak. They're now dual wielding these heavy, curved knives and tries to eviscerate you with it with renewed vigor. Let's see what we got here as they do a full attack with 2 weapons. Let's see. Hopefully.
You're aiming at 19.
Thank you for that. Much appreciated. All right, so the first one is a 30, that's a hit. The second one is a 15, that's a miss. They got a, that's another miss. And the last one is a 21, that's a hit. So 2 hits. They come tearing at you, weaving this flurry of razor-sharp blows, and they are only able to hit you twice. Once with their flaming dagger and once with their offhand weapon. So you are going to take... I'm being lazy and using the Google Dice app too now, because fuck you guys.
I mean,
and
it's
my dice are
super
downstairs.
convenient.
It's slowing up the process.
Yeah, it really is.
Wow, you guys are terrible.
This is the last time I'm going to do it. Okay, Zurabak, you take 13 points of damage from the knife and 5 points of fire damage.
Oh, wait, no, that's snake damage.
Yes. So yeah, they just try to tear at you with these knives, trying to carve into your flesh as best they can. That makes it Snake's turn. Snake gets +4 to their attack and damage rolls from this badass trumpet solo going on behind you.
4. Okay. Snake gets 2 attacks. 20, 30? 30.
That's a hit.
The next one is over 30. No, can't be over 30.
That is also a hit.
17, 28, 29, 30, 31, 30. Okay, it is over 30.
Excellent. Your snake strikes true.
Boop, boop.
The wall of scaled muscle lashing out with its fangs. Roll damage.
2 fortitude saves.
Mm-hmm.
Damage is +4 as well, so that's 8 and 8.
Alrighty. It fails both of those fucking fortitude saves.
5 and 3.
5 and 3 points of constitution damage?
Correct.
Oh my god. So that's a total of -10 con, and that is going to be the thing that fucking kills it. This would-be assassin tries to tear at you with its knives, and it gets stabbed by you, blasted by your herald's horn of blasting, and then Snake's poison completely curdles his blood, and you see flecks of foamy saliva start to dampen the cloth wrappings around his mouth as black
While
veins...
he's still alive, I try to scalp him.
Okay. Hey, you guys, maybe let's be less dark this episode. Parker and Beth, you're both on notice. Let's chill out.
Listen, he said he was going to send his scalp to his master.
Right, but we all knew that wasn't going to happen. Like, because you're the main character. You guys can't just torture people with boiling water and scalp them. This is a family show. You know?
It is?
The fuck it is.
I'm pretty sure there's the mature content warning.
What child listens to
That's
this?
how I've been marketing it. Is this not a family show?
It's a Gargoyles fan cast.
Should my grandma not be listening to this? Well, considering the fact that he dies from poison instantly, sure, you'd cut the top of his head off. It's not while he's alive, but you scalp him and it's great.
Disappointing.
Your obsidian dagger is impossibly sharp, and the flesh parts like silk under it. You do a great job, and Lore Master Kel passes out from the barbarity of your action.
Good.
Your herald rushes over to her side and says, "Well, great job, boss. We saved her. This was my favorite one. She's been giving me lessons on the horn. You could tell, right? You could tell."
Yes. Good job.
Well, it seems like she could use some healing. Do you want to take care of that, or should I take her to the medical facility?
Oh. I mean, I guess I could.
Just, I'd appreciate it, because she doesn't look too good.
How many is Cure Critical? Is that 4?
I believe so, yeah.
And what level are we?
Moderate, serious, critical.
15.
15.
33?
Yep.
Yeah,
You
Cure Critical.
place a hand upon Lore Master Kel and channel some healing energy into them. And they awaken and say, "Well, that was horrible. Thanks, Zurabak. It's nice to finally meet you. I'm Lore Master Kel, the Lore Master of Music. That is maybe the only time in my life where being rescued was almost as bad as the attempted murder. But I appreciate it. Thanks. Who the fuck's trying to kill us?"
The runners. Centaur Man.
So, Zurabak has killed the would-be assassin, got a scalp, saved the life of the Lore Master of Music, Lore Master Kel. We are going to hop back to the rest of the party. Rilla, you are flying over Everspring towards Lakeside, the new community that your wild elf brethren have established here on the shore of Lake Daynum, just outside the city. Ruger and Hector, you are traveling very quickly overland on the back of Cole, weaving your way out of town, and as you all converge. You get there about the same time. Rilla, you see several mobs of people gathering. Ruger and Hector, you see the same thing. It looks like there is Ruger's detachment of Scriveners, led by Bonnie Bolt. These shining knights of the Order of the Quill have formed a defensive barrier between the elves behind them, who have sort of coalesced in a confused mob to wonder what the fuck's going on, and a group of city folk from Everspring who, about 100 strong, who have surged out of the city, angrily screaming as they make their way towards Lakeside. So there's about 100 well-dressed, seemingly wealthy residents of Everspring sort of mobbed up outside of Lakeside with a column of Ruger's soldiers between them and the elven people. This is a scene you all kind of arrive on as you make your way in. Where are you all touching down, checking in? What do you all do?
So here's what I want to do. I'm not flying to the elven home or whatever. What I'm trying to do is land dramatically and to great effect, trying to like make everyone look at me in front of the crowds of people coming to attack the elves. That's what I want to do. Like,
sure. Well, that
with
crowd
this
of
person in my claws.
Sure. That crowd of people is like just outside of Lakeside being held back by a group of soldiers. So you swoop in and land with very dramatic effect in front of this column of Ruger's warriors, your draconic wings flapping in the breeze, your scales shining in the moonlight of this chaotic night as you deposit this goon in front of this angry mob.
Yeah, I drop him on the
screaming
ground.
in front
Him?
of your people's
Is it a
home.
him or a her? We didn't establish.
That's a him.
Yeah, I drop him on the ground, and I don't want to say scream, but I want to loudly project my voice. Right?
So you scream.
I scream, and I say, if you're looking for the elf with like, I'm still in dragon form, but I'm making little quotes over elf with the claws. If you're looking for the elf,
Sure,
that
everyone
started
knows
the
what
fire,
quotation marks are.
Yeah.
I would think that would survive. I would think. There's some mocking gesture we can make up for when we're saying a word that's not true.
I'm just kidding. I've pulled that same move myself.
If you're looking for the elf that started the fire in our city, look no further. I snatched him up as he was running away, the coward. And then I transform back into my normal shape, so I have hands, I guess, because it didn't work very well. And then I pull up his dangling fake elf ears and just kind of wave them at the crowd.
Hell yeah. Hector and Ruger, you pull up upon this scene on the back of Cole. What are y'all doing?
For now, I'm going to stay mounted because I've really been enjoying this experience.
Hell yeah.
I cast a quick look over to Bonnie, give her a nod, but I don't take control of her regiment. Instead, I watch.
Fantastic.
I watch Rilla's display, and in true Ruger fashion, I light up a cigarette.
Bonnie gives you a nod back.
Where are you stopping the horse?
Wherever you want me to stop the horse, buddy.
I want to go next to Rilla and back her up.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I trot up next to Rilla, give Bonnie the nod and all that. Trot up next to Rilla, light a cigarette, let Hector get off.
Hell yeah. You pull up next to your homie Rilla as she's making this impassioned statement. You nod to Bonnie, whose frizzy red hair is poofing out under the edge of her helmet, and she stands stoically in front of your men who are forming a very well-disciplined line. Everyone's armor gleaming, no weapons drawn, no violent action being even alluded to, but they're a solid wall of shining steel between this angry mob and the elves. As Rilla makes this claim, showing these fake ears, someone from this sea of well-dressed faces staring you all down says, "Well, how do we know that's not a trick or some kind of you're trying to fool us? I saw elves running away from Teresa's shop. I heard they were asking for bribes to protect all the businesses in town. And when she said no, they burned it all down." And a bunch of other people go like, "Ah, ah," in agreement with this statement.
You're making that claim to Charissa's greatest customer.
Yeah. Fucking love Lamstrand. But Rilla's like tilting her head like, you think my ragtag refugee group has the power to rule commerce in the greatest city in the world? Aren't you supposed to be the elite? This is the reaction of a mob, an inelegant, unthinking mob. Is that who you are?
What an incredible argument. Yeah, why don't you roll me a diplomacy check?
Sweet. I got one second. I got a 23.
Damn.
That's pretty fucking good.
I have a 10 in diplomacy.
Hell yeah. You hear some murmurs as some of the more agitated members of this mob start to quiet down a little bit and kind of reflect on what you just said. But another voice comes out, ringing out over this group of people and says, That's bullshit. That's a trick. You know, they let you all in here because your home got destroyed or whatever, and you're taking all of our resources. I mean, we're gonna get attacked any day now. We can't spare the food or shelter or time for you and your people. And of course you try to get one over on us. You take everything. You're on the roofs looking down on us. And a couple people are like, yeah, it's fucking, yeah.
I detect evil just to make sure that this is just, there's not any bad, I'm just making sure there's not any bad actors in that sounds very on script to what, Colt was I just want to make sure, is this just someone who's been fooled and not an active deliverer?
Incredibly perceptive Ruger. That is exactly the script you heard from the runner Colt, not fucking 10 minutes ago, in the Diviner's Tower. Yeah, you absolutely heard that shit before. And as you cast your palm forward to scan this crowd for ne'er-do-wells, you do detect the presence of evil. As you continue your concentration through their diatribes, you pick out 3 individual evil people in this crowd that doesn't otherwise reek of evil in any way, shape, or form. There are 3 distinct presences that wrinkle your nose with the sulfurous reek of evil.
Okay, great.
And they just happen to be the ones that are piping up.
So now the question for me becomes, what do I want to do about that? Right?
Murder.
Because no.
Yes, it does.
No. I mean, on the one hand, I could have...
Because visibly arresting the people that are speaking against you
Correct.
kind of could, yeah.
Right. So, at a minimum, I've identified the bad actors, but I still feel like we might need to win hearts and minds here if we're going to see our way through this.
Sure.
So, on that note, you guys got any hearts and mind tricks up your sleeve to counter that?
My spear.
Can I just say, before we move forward, if there was going to be a time for you all to become the fascist dictators of the city of Everspring, now would be you just clubbing the shit out of all these people. Just going full riot cop on all these rich people would be fucking hilarious.
Just be like,
Beat
body,
the shit out of him. I
mow
don't
him
give a
down.
fuck.
With her repeating crossbow.
Aim for the head, Bonnie. The head.
The horror in her eyes.
I ask you all, how does that make any sense? Who benefits? Think. Really think. Who benefits if there is infighting here in Everspring? Do the elves benefit? We have a potential apocalypse on our hands. We have the greatest enemies this realm has ever known, breathing down our necks. Now, more than ever, we have to band together. So I ask again, who benefits from us fighting with each other? Does the elven community benefit? Control the commerce and destroy things so that when the Lord Deceiver's army arrives at our doorstep, we're weakened. Why would that help them? That doesn't. The only person this benefits is the Lord Deceiver herself.
Go ahead and roll me a diplomacy check after this lovely impassioned speech.
26.
Goddamn. I said goddamn. Your words visibly calm the crowd in front of you, while Rilla's words stopped their initial surge of anger. Your reinforcement is able to quell much of the anger in this group of people as they all kind of stop, and some of them you see kind of like shake their heads a little bit, and they blink rapidly, and they seem like almost confused as to why they're here. You see some of the members of this crowd of like agitated rich people who were once like red-faced screaming, kind of gaze around themselves, almost mystified.
Ooh.
And the three individuals, Ruger Firehide, that stand out to your discerning eye, start to look a little panicked. And one of them, you see reach behind their back and pull out what looks like an arrow that seems to be carved to look like it's of elven make.
All right.
And
I charge him. God damn it, Sam. I really wanted to say a cool line on my horse, but instead I charged this dude before he stabbed someone with a fake elven arrow.
I don't want to rob you of a cool line on your horse.
Well,
what were you gonna do?
Okay.
Is it unsalvageable? I'm sorry.
Well, all I was gonna say was Brian was convincing him and such, and the tension comes out of the crowd, and I was just gonna add to it by saying, here are my thoughts on your argument, and then have my horse take a big shit, probably ghostly shit. Try and get some chuckles.
God damn it.
Tell your horse to shit on command.
Come on, it's a spectral ghost horse. We are bonded at a divine level. If I want my horse to shit, it's gonna shit on command.
So yeah, Ruger, you surge forward into the crowd after this motherfucker that is taking out this elven arrow from behind their back. It looks like they are moving to just stab it into someone's chest.
Yeah.
As you make your way in there, what are you doing to stop them?
I guess I'm gonna have to pull a... Ooh. Can I just body him with the rump of my horse? Can I just the horse has like a hoof attack, bite attack. Can I...
It absolutely does. Yeah, you rush forward. And you have like a fucking bolt of lightning. Rilla and Hector, you see Cole just surge forward. From stock still to racing forward so quickly that like a wind pulls at your clothing as this ghost horse bearing Ruger surges directly into the crowd toward one of these angered nobles. And roll an attack roll for Cole, your special mount.
So I want to be clear here when I say that I want to body him with the rump. I want to, rather than kick him I want to be doing subdual damage here.
Non-lethal damage.
Correct, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
So with that in mind, I got a 16 on my attack roll.
That is more than enough to hit this mook. They are not wearing any armor. They don't seem to be particularly well trained for combat. And yeah, you rush forward and Cole, your special mount, flexes, twists, and slams his haunches right into the chest of this shit disturber, who is flung onto their back, the elven arrow flying out of their grasp and clattering onto the ground next to them. A surge of people swell back away from them, and a couple people started like, "Hey, what the fuck? They're charging us!" But then
I did do that.
more level heads are like, "What the fuck is that arrow? What is going on here?" What do you do?
All right. What are the other two? Are the other two bad actors doing anything? Are they just watching?
They are dead silent, sweating profusely, and watching everything happen.
All right. I drop off the side of my horse, march up to the guy on the cobblestone street who I just knocked over. I flick my cigarette off to the side, and I grab him by the scruff of his collar and lift him up. And then I dust him off and say, "Listen, feller, I know you're making arguments, and I know you're making them in bad faith. And now you are trying to convince these fine citizens of Everspring to believe in hateful nonsense you've been fooled to believe in yourself. That message you're spewing comes from the Lord Deceiver herself and her tools, her chosen implements. Now, whether you're doing this with malicious intent or you've just been fooled, I can't say. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But I did just see you pull that elven arrow right there to try and convince all these folks. And, well, for that, you're going to have to spend some time in the tank thinking about it." And then I nod for Bonnie to...
A gasp rolls through the crowd as you point out that arrow, and someone in the crowd holds it up and says, "Yeah, this got a fucking arrow. It made it look like..." The entire crowd of like angry nobles seems like completely deflated. The main emotion that seems to be afflicting all of them is just outright confusion. Like some sort of bubbles burst. They all are just kind of looking around, wondering why the fuck they're there. The soldiers behind you all heave a sigh of relief as the tensions seem to be simmering down a little bit. Ruger comes out of this crowd holding a guy.
I pass him off to one of Bonnie's regiment. I think this guy might need to cool it off. And, I mean, I did detect evil. I do know, actually, that he's evil. So he should be arrested.
So we're just arresting people for being evil now. I see how it is.
I also give a quick sign to Bonnie for the other two blokes in the crowd to make sure that they get tailed and possibly picked up at a more inconspicuous
Hell yeah.
time.
Excellent. Yeah, you tell... Yeah, that's how the leadership feat works. Yeah, you give light work to your goons. That is exactly how that shit works. Yeah. You point your fingers at your eyes and at the assholes in the crowd. And yeah, she gets the message. Someone in the angry crowd of nobles steps forth, and you're shocked that you didn't notice them before, but it is a little understandable. Charissa Lambstrand does not look nearly as fabulous as they normally do. Their hair is terribly singed. It looks like it was formerly in some high-stacked, dense construction of braids and bits of wicker, half of which has been completely immolated, leaving a smoking pile of ash covering half of her head. her dress, which also unfortunately seemed to be made of some sort of woven wicker construction, has been terribly scorched, revealing just a little too much of the skin underneath. And she wanders forward, her eyes filled with tears, her face smeared with soot, her hands covered in ash. And she says, I don't even know why I'm here. Oh, by the gods, my store caught on fire and I just was so angry. I thought I saw elves running away, but so many rumors and everyone was saying that we had to make them pay and I'm so confused. And she dramatically places the back of her hand on her forehead and swoons to the ground, passing out. And a bunch of people surround her.
I elbow in there and cast prestidigitation to clean her up, because that's not
I
acceptable.
I cast mending on her clothes.
So we shove in there and fix that. And I probably is she exposed? Because mending
Are you
won't
still
fix
a
her
dragon?
dress, right? No, I transfer back.
No, she turned human a while ago.
Oh, I missed
my hands
that.
weren't working.
Yeah. So Rilla, Hector and Rilla, you two elbow through this crowd of assholes and use your individual magical spells to absolutely clean all the soot and ash off of her and mend her clothing to completely fix what is actually a very complex series of weird wicker planes that are connected in a sort of weird framework around her body. She looks like a wicker mech. It's the highest of fashions, and it's super dope.
I hate it.
And yeah, when this group of people parts and steps backwards, it's like a Disney transformation. Like Charissa stands up, absolutely flawless, just perfect top to bottom, an absolute shining gem of high fashion. She says, "Oh, thank you so much. It's so good to be back. Oh." I'm terribly sorry about all this, my dear.
Now everyone,
Oh, go ahead.
there is one of us that needs us to band together right now. We need to make sure that fire is out. We need to recover what we can that may have survived the fire. We need to help our own. Let's be constructive.
All of the people here hang their heads for a moment and then nod in determination, locking eyes with each other. And several of them extend hands to come forward and shake the hands of the elves still gathered behind the row of soldiers. And you hear murmurs of apology. And Charissa Lambstrand says, "Yes, let us all fight this fire! Come, everyone!" And she sashays forward away from this, what was a potential race riot down the streets of Everspring.
I was gonna say, I just gesture to the elves, since I'm kind of a leader.
Yeah.
Go fight the fire, man. This is our PR moment. Go help. Just to make sure we go with the group.
Your people surge forward as well, and a bunch of sea elves from the lake actually start surging into the city as well, bringing their talents to bear.
And can I also can I just tell Bonnie to send a couple of peace ambassadors to keep an eye on everything too, make sure no other bad actors or trouble brews?
Absolutely, Lord Captain Commander, I'm on it. And yeah, you all get to work binding this community together to battle this blaze. Zurabak, what the fuck have you been doing? You killed this goon, you scalped him, you brought the lore master back to life. What do you got? What are you doing?
Cafeteria.
Fantastic. We end this episode with Rilla, Ruger, and Hector leading a rainbow coalition of local Everspring folks, the newly arrived elves, and their personal armies through the multicolored streets of Ever Spring to fight a blaze, and Zurabak in the cafeteria just pounding prime rib as hard as anyone ever has. And that's where we'll end.
Hello, and welcome to Happily Ever After, the podcast after the podcast, where we take a deep dive into the romantic inclinations, inspirations, and aspirations of our three romantic contenders. Tonight, we have a very, very special question in mind for our two bachelors and one bachelorette. So without further ado, Bachelor number 1, Hector the Gatekeeper. Come on down, buddy.
Just once again, I want to add this has been, I grew up watching this show. So excited to be here.
Honestly, Hector, the privilege is all mine. A guest of your caliber just really takes this show to the next level. And our sponsors mainly don't agree. So, Hector, tonight, Bachelor number 1, I must ask, what do you most value in a relationship?
That is an interesting one.
A lot of nuance, yeah, a lot to consider.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, emotional honesty.
Well, now, that is surprisingly profound. Can you elaborate, Hector?
I think that, one can never be quite sure and can indeed often be surprised at the sort of person they may end up attracted to. So leaving it to any specific quality as intelligence or humor or anything like that doesn't necessarily make sense to be an end-all be-all to me. I think the most important thing is that you can be honest with each other about your feelings.
Well, Hector, that is straight to the literal heart of the matter, buddy. And what was that I heard? That sounded like a swoon from just off stage. So it sounds like it might have been well received. Great answer, Hector, and thank you as always for coming in.
I didn't hear any... What? I didn't...
Sharon, play the swoon machine louder next time.
Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Now, that brings us to Bachelorette number 2, Rilla freaking Longshadow. How the heck are you?
Still mildly uncomfortable being interviewed by you about romance, but otherwise doing well.
Well, I can't imagine...
How are your hosting duties faring?
Honestly, they're great. I'm having a real good time with it. The sponsors only scare me a little more than half, which is fun. Sharon's as inscrutable as ever, and Rilla, I don't know why you'd be uncomfortable with me asking these questions. As long as you're in bed by 9 o'clock, everything's fine. Now, Rilla Longshadow, also known as Bachelorette number 2. What do you most value in a relationship?
No, with my long and storied history of relationships, I just have so many requirements. No, but honestly, I think I'm just what sounds appealing to me as someone who can only talk in theoreticals about at least a romantic relationship. I think what I most would look forward to in a relationship is having someone I could trust all the time, no matter what. Someone who is on my side, because that isn't something I've had much in my life. And the idea of being a team, of having someone who's always gonna be in your corner, that sounds real nice.
Honestly, Rilla, it certainly does. And wiser folk than myself have described trust as a cornerstone of any healthy relationship. So it sounds like your heart is leading you in the direction of a relationship with a strong foundation. So great answer. And let's not use it on any bachelors I haven't approved of. All right? Okay? Great. Fantastic. Anyways, bachelor number 3. I know you've been dying to get out here. Zurabak. Titles. Come on down.
There should be at least another titles.
Yeah, all right, titles. Better? Yeah, we're in agreement. Great.
Yes.
Fantastic. Zurabak, it's a pleasure as always to have you here, and I've got a real hard-hitting one for you, and
Doubt it.
yeah, I agree. But, buddy, I gotta ask, it's the premise of the show, what do you most value in a relationship?
Strength. Size.
Okay. So, like, physical presence is what you're saying?
Ability to not die horrifically.
Okay, so like constitution? You want a durable partner?
Yes.
Well, wow, that's buddy, that's surprisingly earnest and brings a tear to an old cowboy's eyes. We'll find you one.
Doubt it.
One way or another, buddy. We will find you a durable, reliable, constitutional lover here on Happily Ever After. Keep those dice turning, folks.
Hey there, dear listener. Sam the DM here, checking in with the credits at the end of the show. Challenge Rating 0 is edited by the incomparable Audius Prime, aka Matt Sims. You can find his work at audiusprime.com. Music for Challenge Rating 0 is provided by the Harp Wolf, Danielle Williams. You can find more of her work at danielletaylorharp.bandcamp.com, including her album Why Are We Surprised When Seasons Change? Additional music for Challenge Rating 0 is provided by Justin Raw. You can find more of his work at justinraw.com, including his album Age of the Spirit. If you want to reach out to us here at Challenge Rating 0, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Challenge Rating 0. If you'd like to email us, that's challengeratingzer@gmail.com. If you want to send in any questions or prompts for our little after show, feel free. We will read any submissions on air. And I did want to make a special announcement. I, your humble Dungeon Master, am doing another live D&D event. If you're in the St. Louis area, then I beseech you to check out City Winery, STL, because on April 7th, I will be doing a live D&D show. I will be running a one-shot adventure of my very own creation and having a couple of local comedians, Connor Branson, Tree Sanchez, and Elena Huthsing along for the ride. This is the second live show we've got to do with the City Winery. They're very nice people up there. And this is the third stage show I've done so far, which is also neat. So yeah, you can get tickets at City Winery STL. That's going to be April 7th. The event is called Bubbles and Bards. It is a Dungeons and Dragons one-shot live on stage with comedians on April 7th. Go to City Winery STL to get your tickets. Thank you very much for listening, folks. Be good to each other out there. Bye.